All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. More complexity casting action. Today we have the gold finals of HoN Tour Cycle 3. Best of 5 series between these two teams. Domain of Pain going to be taking on Shit Happens. Domain of Pain, of course, up 1-0 starting off this series, as they did come from the winner's bracket. I believe not dropping a game on their path here to the gold finals, and well, perhaps their drop into gold was a blessing in disguise. A victory here would be worth $1,000 and 1,000 HoN Tour points, and that would put DOP back in the top 10 of the HoN Tour rankings. Most likely, I believe that they should be back in the top 10 if they were to win today, but we'll have to see. They're going to have kind of a hard time. Two of their star players, unfortunately, missing today. Heimer, Cheese Helmet, out of town, being replaced by Parakletos, and Angry Testy, also known as Rexcar Vroom, unfortunately just not showing up today. Maybe some communication, scheduling troubles, but the manager, zhiT, going to be playing instead. I talked with Emperor yesterday about the possibility of this happening and saying, is zhiT going to play? And he says, God, I hope not. He's literally like a 1300 player. So... well, we'll see what zhiT actually brings to the table here. Maybe just going to put him on support and pray for the best. But guys, let's get on into it. Best of 5 here. Grand finals of cycle number 3 gold. Let's do it. Blind bands going out for Domain of Pain, Tempest, and Ophelia, getting rid of those strong junglers. While on the other side, the Hellborn chooses to get rid of Wild Soul and Pebbles. So, of course, just saying, not going to happen. You guys are not grabbing Wild Soul. Pebbles, though, also being removed, so does not want to give them the strong ganker there in that middle lane. Something a little bit different, though. Not going to be banning out Keeper of the Forest, and sure enough, he is first up in the lock pool. Going to be joining Warbeast and Parasite, his fellow junglers, and Cthulhu. I guess you could call him a jungler, especially when Emperor is captaining one of the teams. Always a possible pickup. And that hero did, in fact, get a little bit of a buff just yesterday. I believe that the trample cost, or the mana cost of trample, was reduced slightly. If we can actually take a look here. Yeah, reduced from 125 to 115. So, well, maybe Imp will take that cue to actually, well, maybe we'll see. He might use that to pick up that hero, maybe an excuse to pick that one up. Bubbles and Panda are going to be the last two locks as well. Grabbing a Suicide and then a ganking type carry. We'll see if we have a MSI Tri-Lane of Pandemonium coming out at any point soon. And now let's take a look at the bans. Emperor choosing to get rid of Draconis, Tundra, and Jeraziah. Of course, Jeraziah just so annoying to deal with. That protective charm and the Soul's Blessing. Tundra given a ton of map control and great initiation potential, as well as a strong middle laner, really wherever you choose to put him. Not going to be seen. In Draconis, the great hard carry farmer right there, also going to be banned out. So on the other side, Engineer, Demented Shaman, Rally being banned out. So gank oriented, push oriented heroes right there, not really eliminating a whole lot of carries. Moon Queen, Silhouette, Forsaken Archer, Dark Lady, Zephyr, all still in the pool here. But in fact, first pick from Domain of Pain is going to be Fade. So going with the great great ganker map controller after Tundra has been removed. You throw a Bound Eye onto Fade, activate that reflection, and she's just cruising around the map with clear vision, looking to set up ganks, looking to counter some wards, and very strong combination there. Speaking of strong combinations, though, Meraxes with Glacius on the other side. You land that Quake with the Ice Imprisonment. Tundra Blast, follow it up with the Axes. Baby, you got yourself a stew going. No, you got yourself a very slowed target is what you got yourself. As, well, that's a pretty good dual lane if they choose to run it there. But Domain of Pain says, well, there's a lot of carries on the board. And Moon Queen's on the board. So we're going to go ahead and pick up Moon Queen. Pair it with a Nymphora. And that's going to be the standard picks here for Domain of Pain. Most likely going to be running that Fade Nymphora lane with a short lane Moon Queen. But we'll see what they round it out with. Shit Happens on the other side, though. They also pick up a hard carry with their last standard pick. Grabbing Silhouette, the highly mobile carry. We'll see if They can put that one on Yolam. Most likely going to be getting an early Null Stone, maybe an early Portal Key, and hopefully show us some good aggression. While the first lockpick comes out, and it is Keeper of the Forest, as might be expected. Going to be able to run him as a jungle or a suicide. Parasite Bubbles, the response from the Hellborn team, so picking up their suicide as well as Parasite. Going to be a very aggressive jungler. And if Parasite actually goes into the Legion jungle while Cthulhufen is in that jungle, could set Emperor back quite a bit. So this is what's going to be happening. Yeah, Emp is going to be playing Cthulhufen while Parakletos is going to be doing his suicide thing. No, Jepins, okay. There we go. Jepins is going to do a suicide thing. Parakletos filling in for Cheese Helmet. Going to be taking over the hard carry position for this game with the Moon Queen. So yeah, it's going to be a Suicide Keeper of the Forest. It's going to be a Fade Nymphora in the middle lane. Moon Queen solo short. And then it should be a Cthulhufen actually covering the Legion jungle. But we'll go ahead and see if that might get changed up. Maybe just a little bit. On the other side, though, shit happens. Going to go with the short lane Silhouette. You can already see here 4 minor totems. Grab the Guardian Ring to get that early Ring of the Teacher. Parasite has Marchers with a couple mana pots. Normally an offensive Parasite build, so I would expect him to make his way into the Legion jungle. Four players up here in the top side of the Hellborn jungle, though. Just trying to make sure that no ward gets down. And so it's a possibility that Yolam's going to be able to stack this a little bit, perhaps. But neither team going to be sending wards into the long lane just yet. Although Fitzky playing Fade, actually making his way up. And we'll do a little bit of warding right in this position. So nice thing about this ward, it's going to get you vision right here. And it's also going to get you vision to right about here. And with that vision, you're going to be able to spot any ganks coming down from this... Oh, hold on a second. Pressing K is hard. From this path, coming along this route, coming in from here to here, trying to come around like such. So anytime that a Parasite might be trying to gank you from the Hellborn jungle, you're going to be able to spot that. Now, it's pretty fortunate for them that Parasite is going to be in that Hellborn jungle. Not going to be going for the offensive jungle, as this whole location right here, I mean, there's no wards in this area, so you can just have a Parasite coming up this way. You can have him coming up this way. Even right here, just cuts over and goes for a kill. And for a Fade, they could be very susceptible to a kill with that Glacius Meraxis already being in the lane, but we'll see. Sword also does give vision to about right here. So, going to be able to harass uphill if Glacius chooses to stand in that spot, all the way to about right in here. And Glacius will come back. Crazy Bennigan. Binked. Why did I say Crazy Bennigan? I think that's a restaurant or a store or something. It's just occurred to me that I have not cast Shit Happens before. I've cast a lot of games now. I think in the past 3 months I've cast over 70 series in Heroes of Newerth, and well, have not cast Shit Happens, even with them being the #1 ranked gold team going into this cycle. Of course, that means that they did not win gold last time, but the gold team with the highest points still remaining in gold cycle. So I believe they did take 5th, 6th place last season. Still not moving up to diamond, or perhaps they were in diamond and they fell down. Actually, I think that's what happens. I think that they were in diamond and they fell down. But overall, going to be a somewhat passive game here early. It's going to be up to Cthulhufen and Parasite to inject action into this game by trying to get their roam on. Although Glacius with an invis, that could be kind of annoying. He's going to walk right by Cthulhufen here. And Emperor shouldn't be in any danger, just kind of going toe-to-toe with Snotters. But you know who could be in danger? Nymphora. Fade with the level 1 Burning Shadows right now. That's a 1.6 second stun, I do believe. But yeah, 1.6 second stun. So might be able to hold off a gank here, but they're going to go, in fact, right there. There's the Quake going to be coming out as well. Zeal Stun goes out, so Zanap connecting with that one. Burning Shadows follows up, and Raxus will take a little bit of pressure, but Fade going to have to use that health potion very, very early on in the middle lane. Let's take a look at the farm here in the top and bottom lanes. Currently 11-0 for Jepins. And 11-1 for Silhouette. So Jepin's actually doing a pretty good job up there. You would expect him to be able to do all right against Silhouette. He has the possibility of winning that lane, but a lot of it's going to come down to player skill. In the bottom lane, again, playing the bubbles, he is 7-3 as opposed to the 11-6 of Moon Queen. So Moon Queen doing a lot of work down there, although Bubbles is putting out significantly more pressure. So Moon Queen going to run out of regen perhaps a little bit faster. Yeah, it looks like he is going to run out of regen quite a bit faster, and without something like a life tube being a core item there on Moon Queen, could possibly be running out of health regen down there at some point. Might go for that early Helm of the Victim. We'll have to see. Jepin's stealing a creep wave a little bit right here. Just saying, well, I guess I'm going to take these neutral creeps, but there's not a whole lot of neutral creeps left. Finally does get the Ward of Sight down. Cole being used in the middle lane as Fade wants to just use his mana a little bit, but there's a regen rune that has been bottled by Glacius. So going to be nice for Meraxis. He'll be able to spam out those axes quite a bit. Maybe even go for a Quake and take some damage before using that one. So far, an interestingly passive game with a Parasite and a Cthulhuphant, two aggressive junglers. You might have expected to see some ganks coming out already, as Cthulhuphant is actually looking to set up a gank now. So we'll see if they can get your Burning Shadows onto Glacius. In fact, Glacius is in vision of this ward most likely right now. No, Emperor does fall back. Instead, going to wait and try to take a Catman Champion with him to lane. No, not even. Just going to kill that Catman Champion. So there's the Whispering Helm on Moon Queen. Probably fly that out, perhaps with some regen. No, does not have enough money for regen just yet. So unfortunately will not be able to get any more. Just going to rely on the, 3 health per second regen of the Whispering Helm. And the higher armor, of course. Let's take a look here. Yeah, 3 health regeneration. As in the middle lane, they're going to be going on to Glacius. The trample misses. Quake stun. Also, maybe Fade a little bit of trouble. Fade's going to go down. Domain of Pain getting returned upon. They're going to go on Cthulhuphant as well. There's the Ice Imprisonment and DoP giving up a double tap to Meraxis being played by Balthazar in the middle lane. And that is not the way that they wanted to get this game started. Unfortunately, just a miss right there on Tremble. And the bottle even just consuming the regen. Snap going for that Zeal Stun, not quite connecting, and Glacius going to be able to bottle up a rune that is an Invis rune up there in the top lane. Would not be surprised to see him give the last bottle sip to Parasite and then allow Parasite to grab the rune, which would of course allow him to gank once again, but we'll see. Nymphora is actually in some trouble right here. The bottle charge not going to be coming out just yet. Wants to get the Tundra Blast down. Burning Shadows is there, but Axe is going to connect with Nymphora, and Zanap, the manager for Domain of Pain, going to take the fall right there. So DoP giving up 3 kills early here in the middle lane. Not the way that they wanted to get started in a lane that they, well, they should not be giving up 3 kills in like that. Fade falling behind 135 gold per minute combined with Nymphora still sitting under 250 gold per minute, whereas Meraxis on the other team is at 413 gold per minute. 2-0-1 with 36-19. DoP is getting crushed in this middle lane. They need to make something happen elsewhere. Shell Surf just used right there by Bubbles, and Emperor going to try to get the cutoff onto Bubbles. Will they be able to? Bubbles trying to get his way out of there. Going to be caught out by Moon Queen. There's the trample, and Bubbles is going to be taking some damage. The obliteration coming out right there from Cthulhu, and down goes the turtle. DoP season on their first kill thus far as well. There's some damage being pounded into tree once more. The level 3 Nature's Veil, yeah, level 3 Nature's Veil, keeping Jeppens alive and relatively high on health while he's in that lane. But they need to make something happen here in the middle lane, that is for sure. Meraxis hitting level 7 while Fade's still level 5. Zanap's still level 3 on Nymphora. And, you know, Glacia is doing a great job. He has bottled every single one of these runes. And that's really all you can ask for, is great rune control there in the middle lane and making sure to pick up kills when you can. That's exactly what's happening. Is Jeppens continues to just punch Silhouette in the face. Just trying to put out that damage as much as possible when he has the health too. 221 gold per minute for Jeppens up there in the top lane. Whereas Yolem on Silhouette is doing a little bit better at 301. So holding his own up there for sure. Pericletos on the other side really not having the best of times against his Bubbles. Again, he's only on 165 gold per minute, but Pericletos only at 283. As it just seems like he's had a little bit of a rough time here, actually finding the farm that he'd like to have. And especially with that gank, the assist that he did pick up, you would think he'd be a little bit further on, but not quite yet. Emperor on Cthulhu doing well for his team. Currently, I believe the top, no, not even close to the top level. Level 7, as opposed to also a level 7, but further on, Keeper of the Forest, and a level 8 Moon Queen. He's doing well to help keep his team relatively even here in the early game. But Parasite on the other side, doing very well himself. 1-0 and 1. I'm going to be hitting level 8 soon here. Fade up here, and does have the reflection not available. Excuse me. They're going to be going in onto Silhouette. There's the Burning Shadows. TP support coming in. There's the trample. Cole going to be able to finish him off. The root not needed right there, but was used, and one TP does get canceled. So I believe that was probably Meraxis. It could have been Bubbles as well. Both of them do have an empty inventory slot, but I didn't catch it. A little bit of miscommunication right there with Jeppens using the root unnecessarily, but getting the kill on the Silhouette was very, very important. So great job from the DoP team. They will find Parasite over here as well, but he just hits those Ghost Marchers and says, nope, I'm out of here. See you, dude. Meraxis has enough money to finish up his portal key here at 10 minutes in. Compliment his Steam Boots. I'm personally a fan of getting a Blood Chalice and perhaps even something like a Mana Battery before, or even a Grave Locket. Before you do get that portal key. I think that it just does help your mana situation quite a bit. As in the top lane, Silhouette taking some pressure once again. She is going to be able to escape with the tree grapple. Jeppens going in deep, but no, there's going to be the return right here. In comes the Quake, the stomp onto Cthulhu. They're looking for Fade. Fade does go down. Jeppens on the tree goes down as well. And Emperor going to have to use the trample. Doesn't have it though, and will get the Ice Imprisonment. Well, there's the trample actually. And will they be able to finish him off? Parasite's going to go in for the auto attacks, but no, they will not be able to get the kill. Moon Queen looking for one on Bubbles, though, and Bubbles with no Shell Surf. There's the Kelp Field, canceling the animation on the Lunar Beam, and Moon Queen getting juked for now. She is quite a bit faster than Bubbles, but as Bubbles does have the Shell Surf up once again, Pericletos choosing, perhaps correctly, to actually fall back. Moon Queen still kind of struggling to find farm down here. Still sub 300 gold per minute, which in the safe lane without ganks coming in at all against Suicide Bubbles, you really, really, really want to have your Moon Queen up there in that 350, even like 380 gold per minute range. But Pericletos, unfortunately, missing some last hits, it appears, as he's been pushed up onto his tower most of the time, so hasn't had to fear ganks, but instead just going to be trying to last it off that tower, which can be relatively difficult. Vitsky coming up here for some gank attempts once again, while in the bottom lane, Minotaur being controlled by Parasites, looking for a kill here on Moon Queen. And Moon Queen will walk right by, does in fact spot the Minotaur, I think, as Reflection Fade has 11 seconds to get the opening here on Silhouette, but with Steam Boot set to Strength and a Mystic Vestment, it's going to be relatively difficult. There's the opening. Burning Showers comes out. TP support is there. Root going to come in. Going to turn it around. No! Silhouette goes down. Quake onto Jeppins, though, and Jeppins will fall as well as Vitsky. So, wow, that response by zhiT. Able to take down 2. Lose Silhouette for the second time. And the response now going to be a push here from Domain of Pain. Going to be looking to try to push out those lanes as 4 TPs were used to get to that top lane. Going to try to trade the middle and bottom towers for their top. I don't know if they're going to really have the pressure here, as Nymphora not able to put out a ton of pressure in the middle lane, level 5 by herself. Moon Queen trying her best in the bottom lane with that level 1 multi-strike. But top tower goes down very, very quickly, and next TPs are available in 20 seconds. I don't think DoP is going to be able to take either of these towers in that time. Already we have players moving back down the river. Meraxis with that portal key and another bottle charge here. Yeah, he's going to be able to get in there and save the middle tower, no problem. Both middle and bottom going to be finishing out at about half-life. So, 14 minutes into the game, your favorite team here, Domain of Pain, really falling behind, of course, without 2 of their star players. It's going to be a rough series for them. They do come into this with a 1-0 lead, though, and they're going to be walking right by Silhouette, perhaps looking for a kill on her once more. There's the Burning Shadows onto Silhouette. Trample comes out, going to be able to stun her. There's the Obliterate as well. Silhouette trying to get the tree grapple, and does get the tree grapple right into the triple stacked Ancients. Fade goes down, and Cthulhu going to be shortly there to follow. The Leech finishes him off as Gosig gets the serial killer streak, perhaps looking for Zanap. Not going to find him just yet. And, well, Domain of Pain falling behind a third of the hero kills of their opposing team. And zhiT just looking very, very strong here. Saying, hey, DoP, shit happens. That's for sure. And, well, DoP's got their work cut out for them, most certainly. Moon Queen finally breaking that 300 gold per minute mark. But Silhouette also kind of falling behind as well. The Meraxis is the only player on their team with exceptional farm, up at 430 gold per minute. Moon Queen's going to try to finish off this tower. Instead, pushes it into deny range, and now they're going to have to really commit to it. I would not be surprised to see a Glyph of Fortification activated and 1 or 2 TPs come in. Wow. It's almost like I know this game. There's a Quake Stun onto Moon Queen. Moon Finale going to go off as Meraxis almost goes down, but no, there's the kill onto Moon Queen. Face hug as well as the Leech. There's the deny. And zhiT is just really, really capitalizing on Domain of Pain, really trying to commit to these engagements, to these pushes, with just 1 or 2 heroes, and just saying, here's the power of TP support. And Domain of Pain once again gives up a kill, gives up a denied tower, and falls further behind. 6,200 gold, 5,000 experience down at this point. And, wow. Even seeing Domain of Pain drop 1 game in this series would be something that I almost did not expect. We'll see if Testy perhaps can get here in time for the second game, as, well, I can tell you this, Testy would not have 270 gold per minute on Moon Queen in the solo short lane. Paracletos, he's a great player, but Testy, he's one of the best rights farmers of all time. Of all time. There you go. It's my Kanye West impression. It was awful. Meraxis is going to start working on his Hellflower here, picking up the first of his Arcanas. And, well, going to be on his way to like a 25-minute Hellflower plus Portal Key. That would be very, very strong. Fade activates the Invis. No Word of Revelations down just yet. There's one back there. The tower does go down, and we'll see what the initiation looks like. Oh my god, Mookwee gets obliterated right there. Root gonna be going out, and down goes Silhouette. The Glacial Downpour in the back, though, going off. Jeppin's in a lot of trouble. The obliteration going off, but not really hitting a lot of people. Parasite trying to get in there. Activates the Codex onto Fade. Fade will go down. Quake onto Keeper the Fourth. Jeppins is going to take the fall. Two-man trample. Will Emperor actually be able to get any kills, though? Not looking like it, as there's the Quake, and Emp goes down a genocide. 5-for-1 trade. Plus tower for zhiT, and game 1 just getting ridiculously out of control here for Domain of Pain. 17 minutes in, 10,500 gold down, 8,500 experience down, and they're just, I don't know, they're overextending so much on these team fights. They cannot fight this team right now, and they keep trying to. They need to buy space for that Moon Queen to actually get her farm. They need to have proper wards up and just defend the Moon Queen and trust in their ability to take the later game, but they keep committing to fights, and I know Emp is an aggressive player and he doesn't want to back down from fights. He wants to take them and just outplay the enemy team in those fights, but when you're down 11 hero kills, you cannot be taking fights like that. The Meraxis, the Parasite, they're just much too big. Parasite finishing up a level 2 Codex now. He's going to be able to just walk around and one-shot Moon Queen, one-shot Fade, one-shot Nymphora. It's going to be a real big issue here as he's already on the prowl. Going to be hopping into a Minotaur right here, and as soon as he spots Nymphora, going to be going for a kill, and it's going to be a very easy one. There is a ward going down now. Well, Moon Queen perhaps into trouble. Activates the Moon Finale, getting the neutral creeps through now, and at the end we'll clean up a Catman champion back, but Paracletos getting a little bit trigger happy on that one. I have to disagree with that use of the ult, as well, there is the Quake Stun coming out, and Philip just gets disintegrated. Just absolutely disintegrated right there. The Codex not even being used, but that's the state of things. Level 10 Cthulhu with 1,300 life dies in a quarter of a second to 3 players here from the Hellborn team. Yolam going to be about 1,000 gold away from finishing up his Nullstone, even after being ganked 3 times and dying once in these team fights. Going to be able to easily take this tower down here, and I think DoP finally learning their lesson, saying we are not going to take this tower at all. Well, top lane, Jeppins does get the tower, pays for it though with his 4th death. Sorry I missed that one, guys. It looks like Glacius just got in there along with Bubbles and Parasite, and they were just like, Jeppins, you're gonna die. That's what's gonna happen, and they made sure that it did. As Paracletos cleans up a couple of Ancients right there, still in the very low gold per minute range, 266, and Domain of Pain. I know they don't want to give up their advantage in this series. I know they want to take this first game, but it's looking like this is a position where they almost should just kind of give up, move on, and go into the game with a positive attitude. But I know Emperor. I know Emperor pretty well, and he just does not want to give up in this situation. Just absolutely does not want to give up a game unless it's completely necessary, as Cthulhu is going for an Insanitarius. So he's about 1,000 gold, no, 600 gold away from that Insanitarius now, and if he's able to finish that up by about 22 minutes, then he's going to be a little bit stronger than he was previously. But it's still a very, very late Insanitarius. You generally want to have that by, say, 12, 15 minutes into the game. That's where it shines, as the Nap is going to be in a lot of trouble here momentarily. Nope, in fact, not going to be, as he just gets his Ward of Revelation counter-warded. More Ward of Revelation counter-warding going on right here. The Ward of Sight was counter-warded from Zanap, as he did lose one in this position as well. So once again, just comes back to DoP having to use their manager, as 2 of their star players are out of town, and Zanap, you know, I'm sure he watches a lot of HoN and is trying to emulate, but I don't know that he's played much himself. And perhaps just a little bit out of practice if he has. And I recognize the name, like, I feel like he used to play as well. And Nymphora's getting caught out of position right here. Shelser finishes her off. Cthulhu walks right by a Ward of Sight as well. Might have been able to get onto him if they had used the kelp field, but not going to be going for it just yet. I just saw an invis bottled up. Yeah, Bubble's going to chug that invis. And we'll be looking for anybody to kill here in the Legion jungle. Not going to find anybody, though. 3 players gathered up in the mid, well, up in the top lane. Keeper of the Forest is trying to steal some experience. Does punch Silhouette in the butt, just for good measure. Sanitarius finished up there on Cthulhu, so going to be a little bit tankier in the middle of those team fights, able to farm a little bit more effectively. Raxus finishes up his Hellflower, though. Goes on to Fade right here. Quake, Hellflower, Codex. That's it. See you, Fitsky. 0-6 and 3 on Fitsky. Definitely having a rough game. When you're trying to gank consistently like this and you don't necessarily have to back up and you're trading 1 for 2 every time that you do go for ganks because of TP support and the like, then yeah, you're going to have a pretty rough time. Parasite's had this eye for a few minutes now, and the Hellborn team, they've done some counter warding with it, trying to establish map control as going to use the eye to once again counter ward, and that was the last ward of sight. Now, one more ward of sight over here from Zanap, just protecting his secondary bottom tower. And given a little bit of vision of the jungle, but shit happens. Definitely has map control, and they definitely have control of this game. So, well, we'll see what DoP chooses to do. If they take a big fight, they could get themselves back into this. Moon Queen once again approaching that 300 gold per minute mark. And you give that here an inch, she takes a mile and then some. So we'll see. She's not really that far behind Silhouette. If Meraxis' farm starts to taper off here, we could still have a very good game on our hands. It's just going to come down to, is shit happens going to make a mistake? Domain of Pain, the more experienced team here, but not necessarily always the more patient team. Not going to be a Lions or a Trademark or a Complexity that just so patient. They're going to be TPing in right here. Kelpfield going to go out. There's the Song of the Sea as well. Root going to be coming out. No, not even a little bit as Jeppins goes down. Grabs the tower. They're going to catch Moon Queen as well. Hellflower being applied onto Moon Queen. Getting the slows off. And Moon Queen in some trouble. Tree Grapple comes in. Move Fidelity activated. Going to turn it around. Silhouette ports it back out though. And while Moon Queen will go down, the Matrax Sun going to be going off. And Emperor, even with that and Sanitarius activated, will go down in the front lines. Going to be turning it on to Zanap and Vitsky as well. No Shell Surf available. There's the Song of the Sea. Fade going to be able to escape for now. Is there going to be any more follow-up? Portal Key on in. And Fade doing the dance. Not going to be going down just yet. 30 seconds on Cthulhu and Moon Queen. 15 seconds here on Jeppins. No Portal Key. He has the availability to buy out on one end. Does have the root available. This was, of course, another 3 for 0 trade here for the Hellborn team. But they're very low. And if they look to take another fight here, they're very likely going to lose. Jeppins buys out on that Portal Key, and I would not be surprised to see him sell it back, actually. He's got about 8 more seconds in which to do so, and knows that he doesn't need it to defend his base just yet. But no, going to actually keep it. I was thinking perhaps he might not want it just yet. Might want to go for something else, a little bit different, maybe a barrier idol earlier, but who knows, maybe Cthulhu might pick that one up. I think I've seen that on Emperor's Cthulhu before. Hellborn team once again completely content with that situation. Traded 3 for nothing, took a tower, pressured another tower, and then farmed their enemy's jungle. Now going to be able to do some double stacked Ancients and extend this lead. 16,000 gold, 18,000 in terms of experience here at 26 minutes in. So DoP falling further and further behind. Moon Queen about 1,000 gold away from finishing up a Shrunken Head. And that could certainly be something to help out in the middle of these team fights. You really got to worry about getting that one off before you get Hellflowered by Meraxis. But if you're able to, then you might very well be able to take a fight. Then all you've got to worry about is, in fact, the Silhouette who's pounding those auto attacks in. She's picked up a Firebrand to work on a Geometer's Bane, perhaps here as her next item. And the Hellborn team in its entirety working on Kongor. Kongor going to be dropping pretty fast. I do want to clarify, both of these teams have already qualified for Diamond, being the number 1 and 2 teams in Gold Division. Top team, though, going to be walking away with $1,000 in cash and 1,000 HoN Tour points. Another point of clarification, that is more points than if you were to take 5th place in Diamond. So Lions Esports walking away in 5th, 6th place in Diamond, going to be walking away with a little bit less, I do believe, in terms of cash and points than the winner of this match. So perhaps a blessing in disguise for these teams to be down here and fighting for this one rather than up there trying to fight with the top 6. Because, I mean, if you're going to take top 4 in Diamond, you've got to beat TTE's, QSQ 357, Lions, Complexity, Trademark, and Stay Green. Like, throw into there like the 6th through 12th teams that are just constantly contenders, and your pencils, your one trick pony, your absolute legends, QSQ 777, which is also down here in gold right now, but just so many good teams up there. It's very, very hard to actually take that top 4, so perhaps Gold Division maybe just a little bit better. 5th, 6th place also do take 1,000 coins, or excuse me, not coins, $1,000 and points home. As Silhouette might be in some trouble here. She does use the well done right there. The shadow going out, reflection being burned by Fade, and even the root being used there by Jeppins. So unfortunate situation. And the Hellborn team looking to push down this tower here in the bottom lane, extend the gold and experience lead even further. Legion team, though, looking instead to try to push out the top lane, as an Elder Parasite is picked up on Cthulhu Fit. Arcana on Keeper of the Forest, going to be working on that refresher at some point here. And the bottom defensive tower starting to take pressure. Multiple trades going to be going on. Going to try to take down top lane and mid before they have to TP home to defend the racks. Fortification going to be going off, and we'll see when the TPs do start coming in. There's the first 2 TPs. The rack's going to start taking pressure here. Need more TPs, otherwise they're going to be starting to lose out on this racks. And the racks very well are going to go down right here. And in fact, not going to be going out. There's the Burning Shadows on Mirax is catching him out of position. Perhaps Cthulhu in the middle of it. Glacial Downpour going down. And Cthulhu going to be the first one to drop here. Mirax is also going to be biting the dust as they need to be able to get in there. The root's still on cooldown. If they had that, they'd be able to take a huge fight. Shelser, Song of the Sea. Bubbles man's up, and Jeppins goes down. Parasite down in the back, though. Moon Queen able to get that one, and Bubbles perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Going to try to take out Nymphora. Nymph, though, manning up. Reflection going to be able to finish off Bubbles. The racks do go down in the end, a 3-for-3 trade. If DoP had the root in that situation, if it had not gotten wasted on literally nothing up here at the top lane, they would have most likely genocided. Maybe a 1-for-4, something along those lines. They would have had a fantastic fight, as that Burning Shadows initiation there onto Miraxis was exactly what they needed. The Legion team have been getting initiated on the entire game, and once they actually manned up and just initiated on the Miraxis, he's not that tanky. He's got 1,800 life, but he's got only 15 armor, no Mystic Vestments, no Vanguard, or excuse me, no Shrunken Head, no Helm of the Black Legion, nothing like that. So, very, very squishy. Able to be bursted down pretty dang fast. And, well, in that, Moon Queen able to pick up a Bound Eye. Parasite loses his. Not really able to make too much effective use of that portal key. The first player to go down was Cthulhu, who, you know, very, very tanky. He hits that Insanitarius, and he's got over 2,000 life with a decent amount of armor. And once he finishes up his Shrunken Head, going to be even more tanky. Double damage up here, though, in the top lane. And Mirax is going to bottle that one up. Probably donate that to Silhouette at some point. She's finished up her Geometer's Bane, and going to be able to start working on some damage here relatively soon. But the Hellborn team walking right by a ward They do get spotted out, and so the wards will be countered. In fact, Silhouette taking the money for that ward extremely bad-mannered. As a support, I can tell you that's a mean thing to do. When you're broke already, you need some gold for that. But I mean, wow, crazy being not broke. 2-0 and 16, 272 gold per minute. And I mean, I knew he was doing good in this game, but he is doing absolutely phenomenal in this game. Like, in all honesty, that is a very, very, very good score for them. And well, defensive tower going to be starting to take a lot of pressure here. Double damage Silhouette leading the charge, and Moon Queen going to be starting to TP home now. The Rax already taking a lot of pressure, though. Will they be able to get the initiation? This time, Rax is standing way in the back. There's the 3-man root coming out. There's the Moon Queen ultimate going to be coming in, and Moon Queen not able to get the shrunken head off. Moon Queen going to be taking a lot of damage, but she will get invis. Not going to be going down just yet. Fade in the background, taking a lot of pressure. Moon Queen does go down. Meraxis takes the fall as well, and Nymphora gets absolutely cleaned up. Bubbles going to be working on the Rax along with Silhouette. Cthulhu went down at some point during that fight. Second set of Rax going to be going down now, and DoP falling further and further behind. It's getting very much so to the point of no return. They had a good initiation there, needed to get the root onto Meraxis as well, though, and unfortunately there was no ward really in this area, which is where you kind of need one. Or maybe over here. You need some kind of vision on that area, but with an eye. Well, Fade's going to be going in right there with the Burning Shadows. Bubbles in a lot of trouble, but Fade's going to be the one that goes down. The Bound Eye is killed by Jeppins, and Silhouette looking to burn that token, will be able to successfully burn the token. Glacier is trying to man up, uses the power supply to try to get the Ice Imprisonment off. Not going to be able to, though. And Silhouette trying to finish off this middle defensive tower. Not going to be able to seal the deal. And does, in fact, just back off. So, shit happens. With 2 sets of Rax being killed off right now. DoP in a very, very bad position. Shit happens. 20,000 gold and experience up. And I would not be surprised to see DoP use all 10 minutes. Really just stall this game out as long as possible. This actually makes sense to me. Do not concede this game. Wait until the World Tree is dead. Try to buy as much time as possible for Testy to get here and be able to go into game number 2, 3, 4, as many as it takes. Well, with your normal roster. Portal Key there onto Silhouette. Going to be starting to work on Nymphora as Zanap just... Codex level 3 right there. He takes his 6th death of the game. 0, 6, and 2. 87 gold per minute on Nymphora. Certainly not working out the way that he would have liked. Fitsky 0, 7, and 6. 162 gold per minute as, well, middle tower does just absolutely drop right there. The Rax are starting to get pressured as zhiT. They say, well, you guys are waiting for Testy. Not going to let that happen. Melee Rax going to be going down. There's a 4-man root in the fact, though. In comes Meraxis, and Nymphora goes down. Fade goes down as well. The Moon Queen finale almost going to be finishing off a lot of players, but she's the only one left alive. Parasite goes down in addition to Silhouette, but Moon Queen will be the last one alive. Double buyback's going to be coming in, though, and Nymphora actually might not have died. Bubbles is going to drop here. Bound Eye hits the floor, but the 3rd set of melee Rax going to fall. The last range Rax, the only one alive, but zhiT happy to take down those Rax, suiciding on top of them. Not a big problem. That was a buyback from Cthulhu, and I could have sworn that Nymphora died right there. I guess she didn't. I guess she didn't, but maybe a little bit too balls to the wall there. Shit happens, knowing that they didn't necessarily need to live right there. They just wanted to blitz down those Rax and perhaps had a little bit of an odd, awkward team fight overextension. But with 3 sets of melee Rax down, this game is over. There's essentially 0 way that Domain of Pain can come back at this time. But like I said, they're trying to buy as much time as possible to actually get their 5th player here. Reminds me of KD Gaming back in the day, I think 3 DreamHack winners ago, when they were actually down Honey. I think I'm remembering this correctly. HoN was on a train or a plane trying to get to the event, but something had been delayed. And KD Gaming actually had to play their first series or series and a half without HoN 4v5 against some top teams at the time, and were able to successfully take the series, remained in the game in the event until HoN was able to get there. And I do believe that HoN actually did come back and they did win that event. That was the first DreamHack that HoN was at, I believe. I believe KD Gaming won over Druids Esports at the time. Of course, the next 4 DreamHacks, I believe, were won by Fnatic, and that was before Fnatic had really picked up their current roster. I do believe. Well, excuse me, their XLS roster. Oh man, I can never remember that name. Before they picked up Nova and No Tail and Fly, they were just running Trixie, Fresh Pro, Rexy. I don't think Rotterdam was on the team at that time, but he might have been. Rotterdam of SC2 fame was, in fact, at one point the captain of the Fnatic HoN team. So there's some more trivia for you. Fitsky trying to get information here. They want to be able to line up a good initiation onto Meraxes. These last range ranks will give mega creeps, so they cannot let them fall. Moonqueen just activates the Shrunken Head, walks right in. Going to start attacking, is in the back. Fade going to get the Burning Shadows onto Meraxes. They're looking to bring down Silhouette Illusions, but that's not actually going to help that much, as they lose Fade in the background, and the ranged ranks now just going to be killed. Mega Creeps is going to come up, and that's going to be game. Quake going to be going out there, and Mookwe just disintegrates. Root going to come in and catch 4 players, but what are they going to do with it? Absolutely nothing. This is not a song from Rush Hour, but in fact, well, Mookwe activates the ultimate right here, just hitting nothing but creeps, though, and not really going to be too useful. Bubbles does use the take cover there, and there's the Quake back onto Mookwe. Mookwe just absolutely disintegrates. Keeping the Force trying to punch down Bubbles. Not going to be able to, though. Cthulhu goes down at the might of Parasite and Bubbles, and Jepin's going to be forced to run away. There is a bound eye on Parasite. Kodak's going to be able to finish off Cthulhu and waiting for the World Tree to fall. Shit happens saying, why aren't they conceding? They're down 30,000 gold in experience. Like I said, they're buying time to try to get their 5th here. That is their game plan. Well, there's another Quake going to be coming in. Unfortunately, does miss. Fitsky gets the kill on again. Bubbles going down right there, and Fitsky with the illusion, or the invis going off right there. There's the initiation. Merax is trying to turn it around, though. Wants to be able to get the Quake. Misses the Quake once again, but the auto attack's going to be more than enough here for NIM4 to go. No, okay, maybe not. They're going to more than enough. A flubbed auto attack attempt there is. Okay, shit happens. They've won this game. They need to make sure not to get complacent, and they need to make sure not to allow this to affect their mentality. As you can see right there, Yolm has missed his last 4 Death Lotuses. They might be screwing around right now, but if this carries over into the rest of the series, they will lose, and they will get knocked out of this finals. So this is why you need to not get too cocky here. Burning Shadow is going to be going out onto Meraxes. Says Mega Creeps are starting to bring down everything. Meraxes does take the fall, but Glacius brings down Fade right there. Yolm trying to get out of there on Silhouette, but Glacius getting more and more kills right here. There, of course, just are so many Mega Creeps. They hit so hard. Of course, 115 damage as Yepins goes down. Yolm taking home that kill. Moon Queen trying to clean up the World Tree. Is she going to be successful? Doesn't have enough life leech. And there's the Glyph Fortification. Crazy Banked gets the serial killer streak. Finishes out the game 7-1 and 23. 351 gold per minute on Glacius. And wow. So shit happens. They even up the score right now to 1-1. And we're going to be going into game 3 of this series with an even score. Going to become a best of 3 series from here on out. The first team to take 2 more games is going to be walking away from this series with the victory. And well, we'll see if Testy is going to be able to make it in for the next game and perhaps infuse some new life into Domain of Pain, or if they're just going to have to straighten up with the team that they do have. Guys, hope that you're excited to go into the rest of this series. Of course, Domain of Pain taking on Shit Happens. Best of 5 here for the Gold Grand Finals. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Huge shout out to S2 Games for allowing HoN Tour to happen, and of course to Complexity. Without them, coLcast would not be here to cover HoN Tour. So make sure to go check them out at complexitygaming.com. HoN Tour is on the front page, and so is the coHoN Weekly Breakdown page. Posted one of those last night, so get caught up on that. Of course, coHoN taking on Q Squad 357 right now in the lower bracket, round 4. Trying to advance to play Trademark Esports, so we'll see how that goes out. Guys, we'll be back in just a few minutes with game number 3 in this series. Don't go anywhere.